And India Today's editor Shiv Arur explains the communication devices that terrorists use to evade being tracked by security agencies. Let's take a look.
Well, there are several different methods and methodologies that terrorists obviously use. It's become more and more difficult because of law enforcement, making it extremely difficult for them to actually be able to communicate without leaving a trace. But disposable SIM cards continue to be pretty reliable as far as terrorists are concerned because these are cheap to access, widely available, and easy to dispose of. But they are quite easy to track as well, which is why they're not used very much anymore. Terrorists also use dead drops. These are messages that are saved as drafts in emails or phones but are not actually sent. So there's no digital trail, but according to a precise agreement between the sender and the receiver, those messages are actually seen in drafts folders. Emails, SMSs and text messages are used far less now by terrorists because obviously they leave a very, very extravagant digital trail that can easily be tracked by any intelligence or surveillance agencies. Social media chat rooms, gaming like we just showed you here on India Today have become extremely popular modes of communication because of the sheer number of users out there. It's difficult to filter tracking. USB sticks because if a computer isn't really connected to the internet, information can be stored on pen drives and transferred physically to a sender to pass on information or targeting data. JPEGs or GIF files with hidden messages, coded within them have also been proven to be a pretty effective communication device by terror groups around the world. Satellite phones are susceptible to interception. They used to be very effective before the advent of, online surveillance, but now they're used far, far less. Of course, courier by hand, continues to be the only real method for non-digital communication, but the problem here is, of course, the physical threat of being able to be tracked and giving away a possible location where a terror activity might happen. But new age terror is really all about finding new ways to communicate, and we've just showed you on India Today how PlayStation video game consoles are being used and are suspected to have been used in the Paris attack to actually communicate between terrorists and the planners. They're very difficult to monitor.
Okay.
Internet protocol based systems are extremely difficult to track and survey. You can't really monitor communication on these platforms, not just because of the number of them out there, but also because of certain encryption on these devices. Around 110 million users, 65 million of them active at any point of time. So you can imagine what an enormous task it actually is to even think about surveying the kinds of communications that could happen on these devices. And it's difficult to track suspected terrorists based on console usage. Apart from the huge numbers out there, the technology of PlayStations themselves that may have been used to communicate and plan the Paris attack makes it an absolutely exponentially monumental exercise.
Nisagama manipamaga nipamaga sanipamani sapasa जहाँ तक याद आती रहेगी